Good morning and welcome to St Leonard's Church, where we're going to record the service for Sunday for you. Ros Hunt will read our Gospel reading.
The Gospel reading is taken from Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 to 28. Leaving that place, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. A Canaanite woman from that vicinity came to him, crying out, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is demon-possessed and suffering terribly." Jesus did not answer a word. So his disciples came to him and urged him, "Send her away, for she keeps crying out after us." He answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel." The woman came and knelt before him. "Lord, help me," she said. He replied, "It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." "Yes, it is, Lord," she said. "Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus said to her, "Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted." And her daughter was healed at that moment. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Crumbs that are left under the table. There's a saying, a crumb of comfort. It's an interesting phrase. Even a little comfort goes a long way when someone is in great need. They grasp any comfort, even a crumb. When I hoover up under my dining room table, I do find peas and crumbs sometimes, but it's just me eating there most of the time, so not very much usually. I do not feed my dog at the table ever. If there's any scraps, they go into his bowl and he knows that they're his. So I don't have any begging dog sat at the table with me, which is good. So who nowadays, in this pandemic, who might want to receive Jesus' healing? Someone who might not feel part of being seated at the table, and someone who might have to wait for the crumbs, who today might want to approach Jesus and make such a plea. With the continued suffering caused by COVID-19, there might be a lot of people in our own communities that feel this way. I've heard in national surveys that some people don't feel they can ask Jesus for help because they're not regular churchgoers, or because they feel they've done something wrong in their lives that they think makes them unworthy. Or they fell out with the previous vicar. Or someone spoke unkindly to them when they came to church. For example, "Don't sit in that pew," and so on. Many people have an incomplete understanding of Christianity, and I want to ensure them, and you, if that's you, that it is the worthiness of Jesus which allows us to approach him, and not our own track record. That is a definition of faith. That is what Jesus has done for us, not what we do for Jesus, that counts. Hence, in this incident, Jesus listens very carefully to the woman and realizes there is a trust and a reliance on God that outweighs her background, her tradition, her culture. Despite her misgivings, she has an understanding of the power of God that overcomes past tradition, history, and culture that excluded her people. A power that Jesus has that can heal. this woman finds a brilliant way of expressing herself, her need, and her desperate love for her daughter. To reach out to Jesus and make her claim on his love and healing power. Jesus responds and hears her and listens to her and fulfills her prayer for healing, an actual healing for her daughter. And I think there is more. For that mother's faith that emboldened her to face the stares and scorn of the disciples was justified. It was worth all that because her prayer was heard. Her faith must have grown. And then think also of the disciples who were there. They were trying to turn her away, trying to silence her. They watched and heard Jesus accept her pleas. They watched him turn centuries of tradition on its head. They watched him reach out to someone not of the Israelite tradition, a foreigner, a Canaanite woman. Who do we know who has the need of prayer and healing? Now that Christianity has spread across the world, and we know, indeed we fully understand, that Christ came to save all nations, everyone, in every sense of the word. His work on the cross, his becoming alive after death, his going up to heaven, means that everyone can call on him in prayer for healing of mind, body, and spirit. Everyone. None of us should try and turn anyone away, certainly consciously, and we must ensure that we don't do this unconsciously. We must remain alert and conscious and ready to welcome anyone and everyone into our fellowship of Christ. All are our brothers and sisters. And this might happen any time. We do not know when a person might reach out and ask us something about God, something about healing, something about prayer or the life of Christ. How wonderful we might be involved in the work of showing love and care for others in Jesus' name. Who knows what crumbs we might allow to fall from our own blessings and our own bounty that might help others very close and very far away from us. Let's face it, we all feed on crumbs from the Lord's table. And I hope that we can share bread and maybe some wine once more from the Lord's table soon. I pray that we welcome all who are seeking healing, prayer and comfort, that we might be able to share with grace and love as Jesus does. For he offers that to his churchgoers and home prayers alike, screen watchers and churchyard visitors alike. Thanks be to God.